Three names: Scarlett Johansson, Justin Baldoni, and Ryan Reynolds. Oh, I am about to blow your mind, and I need to know if you think this is as intentional as some seem to think. Scarlett Johansson is set to make her directorial debut with a film titled Eleanor the Great. It's about a 90-year-old woman rebuilding her life after the death of her best friend. Should be so sweet. But who co-financed this film, you ask? You didn't really ask, but trust me, you want to know. Wayfarer Studios?
After what I can only assume Ryan Reynolds thought was a triumphant appearance on Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary, he must not have loved seeing Colin Jost come back to Saturday Night Live last night with a joke at his wife, Blake Lively's expense.
Blake Lively was the work wife that he told you not to worry about. Okay, at least that's what it seems like to me. Let's talk about Blake Lively's relationship timeline with Ryan Reynolds and how it has sort of collided with this drama with Justin Baldoni.
Scarlett Johansson has once again found herself at the center of Hollywood drama, this time involving her ex-husband, Ryan Reynolds, and his wife, Blake Lively. Recent events have reignited speculation about the true nature of Reynolds and Lively's relationship, with shocking details emerging that could shake their seemingly perfect image, from accusations of emotional infidelity during the filming of Green Lantern to their controversial appearance on Saturday Night Live. Johansson's alleged subtle revelations and resurfaced comments have fueled intense backlash against the power couple.
When you look at these photos and when you look at these videos of Blake and Ryan doing the promos of the Green Lantern, it's very much giving work wife and work husband and the girl that he told you not to worry about.
And Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson were once one of Hollywood's most talked about couples. Their marriage, which lasted from 2008 to 2011, was a union between two incredibly successful actors at the peak of their careers.
These two are individually stars in their own right, but when they first got together in 2008, Scarlett Johansson was only 23 and Ryan Reynolds was 31. They were together from 2008 to 2011, but let's get into their full history. They were seemingly a very private couple, only seen by the paparazzi a few times and out in public at events a couple, and they seemed to really want to focus on their individual careers. Going back to the beginning when they started dating in 2007, briefly spotted together here and there, with rumors that they might be settling down pretty quickly, which makes sense for Ryan Reynolds, who was at the time 30, turning 31. But Scarlett Johansson was still fairly young at 22 years old when they met, and they were actually linked shortly after Ryan Reynolds ended his engagement to the singer Alanis Morissette. And they were actually engaged for many years, I think about 3. But they ended their engagement and Ryan quickly got together with Scarlett.
However, their relationship ultimately came to an end, leading both to move on with different partners. Reynolds with Blake Lively, and Johansson with Romain Doriac before eventually marrying Colin Jost. While both actors have remained largely tight-lipped about the details of their separation, Scarlett Johansson has occasionally hinted at some of the factors that contributed to their split.
And then he was engaged to Scarlett Johansson in 2008. This was in May of 2008. But they were actually married by September 2008. So not a long engagement, pretty quick, especially after his last relationship with Alanis Morissette. They stayed together in 2011 after the launch of Ryan Reynolds' movie Green Lantern, which is where he met his now wife Blake Lively.
In a past interview with Cosmopolitan, Johansson subtly addressed the dynamics of her marriage with Reynolds without explicitly naming him. She spoke about how a relationship between two highly ambitious individuals could lead to complications, particularly if there is a sense of competition between them. The actress emphasized that in a relationship where both partners have demanding careers, there must be a mutual understanding of how to balance success and personal life.
I never thought that I'd be planning my wedding in like a dark alley somewhere, but it turned out that way. It was really quite secretive and I felt like I was doing a drug deal without all the the fun.
Scarlett Johansson tells David Letterman that she and Ryan Reynolds went to extremes to keep the details of their wedding under wraps. The famously private couple tied the knot in late 2008. Mrs. Reynolds said helicopters spoiled their efforts, but the ceremony was gorgeous anyway.
I got married in a very remote part of Canada. There were bears and whales and eagles. It was just, it was like...
Ryan Reynolds brought in 45 Marvel actors for Deadpool and Wolverine, but one thing that shocked a lot of people is he wanted Scarlett Johansson in the movie. Many people forget is there was a time from 2008 to 2011 where Scarlett Johansson and Ryan Reynolds were married. They got divorced after Ryan Reynolds finished filming Green Lantern, where he met his second wife Blake Lively, and many people have assumed he cheated on Scarlett Johansson with Blake Lively while filming. Before getting divorced, they both joined Marvel, with Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool in X-Men Origins 2009. A year later in 2010, Scarlett Johansson would join the MCU playing Black Widow in Iron Man 2. The characters of Deadpool and Black Widow are close, where in some of the comics the two actually have a relationship together. At the time, they couldn't share a screen together because Fox owned the rights to Deadpool and the MCU was owned by Disney. In 2019, Disney bought Fox for $72 billion and got the rights to Deadpool. Many believe that Scarlett Johansson asked to be killed off in Avengers Endgame because she didn't want to later on share a screen with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, for the beginning of Deadpool and Wolverine, had a script which would have united the original 6 Avengers, including Scarlett Johansson. It would have happened if Robert Downey Jr. didn't say no because of being Dr. Doom.
Here has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people's careers are progressing at the same rate. Even if one person is more successful than the other, that can also be challenging. There may be a competitive element. Johansson stated, although her comments were diplomatic, they seemed to suggest that there were underlying tensions in her marriage with Reynolds. Given that both were rapidly rising in Hollywood during their time together, it is possible that professional competition played a role in their split.
Scarlett is currently the LUK cover girl, and she opened up about being the former Mrs. Reynolds. She said, quote, "I got married when I was young, and it was incredibly romantic, and I liked being married actually. But it is different. It's hard to put into words." As for her definition of what it takes to make something work, Scarlett explained, quote, "Being in a functioning relationship doesn't mean you have to be married. I never think about marriage. Is that weird? The only time I ever think about it is when people ask me, would I get married again?"
Yeah, I think when you think of a divorce story, you imagine much more of a contentious, prickly, almost enemies. But a lot of the movie, there's two people trying to make it work. There's still like an amicable, you're trying to make it work for your kids. So was that part of, did you have input in that?
We'd spoken so much about not just our relationships and what it was like to be, single parents or how it was to co-parent, but we also talked a lot about our parents and our families and, all of that stuff kind of made it in there. And when I got the script, I was so surprised by how much love remained between those two people. It was a love story told through divorce.
Reynolds and Johansson's marriage reportedly lacked warmth due to their strong and often clashing personalities. Ryan was described as traditional and controlling, expecting Scarlett to prioritize their relationship over her career. Meanwhile, Scarlett, known for her independence and rising success in Hollywood, found his demand stifling.
It's a couple had spent a lot of time apart, and Scarlett became unhappy, which I could understand that. Shout out to the people in a long-distance relationship, because it could not be me. I just like to have my partner there. Looking back, Scarlett admitted that she didn't fully understand marriage at 23 years old, which makes sense. She confessed, "I didn't really have an understanding of marriage," and Ryan said that marriage became more complicated for him over time, and that things were changing after they had got married. According to In Touch Weekly, their relationship lacked warmth due to their strong personalities. The insider revealed they're both strong-willed and stubborn people. There was a lack of warmth between them, and that was troubling. Ryan can be an overbearing control freak. He's more traditional while she's more independent. When he wanted her there, he expected her to drop everything and come to him. She got tired of the double standard because he wanted to be the big star and he wanted everything his way, and she has a sense of self-worth. There were reports of Scarlett being angry often and having heated arguments with Ryan, including one incident on the set of the movie The Proposal.
The couple spent a lot of time apart, and Scarlett became unhappy, a feeling many in long-distance relationships can relate to. Looking back, Scarlett admitted that at 23 years old, she didn't fully understand marriage, which, in hindsight, made sense to her. She confessed, "I didn't really have an understanding of marriage."
But it wasn't all Scarlett's fault. Rumors suggested that Ryan could have been an overbearing control freak with his traditional mindset, which clashed with Scarlett's. And like I said, I don't think Ryan Reynolds wanted to have another movie star as his girlfriend. This article reports the streets are saying that Ryan couldn't handle Scarlett being more successful than him, and people suspect that Ryan inserted himself into the "it ends with us" drama because he doesn't like being outshined by a partner. Scarlett Johansson Johansson might have hinted at a toxic competition in their relationship during a May 2016 interview with Cosmo. She said, quote, "The logistics of being with another actor are challenging." She said there has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people's careers are going at the same rate. Or even if one person is more successful than the other, that also proves to be challenging. Even though she did not name drop Ryan, we all knew who she was talking about because they were married when she was in her early 20s.
According to In Touch Weekly, their relationship reportedly lacked warmth due to their strong personalities. Sources revealed that both were strong-willed and stubborn, which created tension between them. Ryan was described as an overbearing control freak, more traditional in his expectations, while Scarlett valued her independence. He expected her to drop everything and come to him.
Honestly, came together. I think Greg Berlanti, who's our director, is a huge fan of Colin's. And Colin's, I think he had to do it because it's like in our prenuptial agreement. If I ask him to do something, he has to be there to support me. I run lines with him, and which is great. You'd think that would be very convenient because you have a partner there to help you out. You have to learn your lines, he really commits to the line reading, and it's not always the performance I want it to be.
But he was good in this movie.
He's great. He's so funny and off the cuff and charming and great. I can't imagine what dating would be like with kids. Well, that's not true. I had my daughter when I met Colin, but we met at SNL, and it was like I'd known him for a very, very long time through.
So you knew him. Did you ever find him attractive?
He's a very, I think, a very cute guy. But the other times that I was there, I was in a relationship, and I was not like, oh, he's cute, but whatever.
Right.
And this time, the timing was right. It was like I think he looked differently to me because I was available. Like it was just. The timing has to be right. I think I've definitely been in relationships where the timing was not right. And I also kind of think you have to recognize when it's not. Obviously, if it's not the right person, it's not the right person. But sometimes it's a good person, but the timing is off. And it's important to be open to that too.
On her part. She reportedly grew tired of the double standard, as Ryan wanted to be the dominant figure in the relationship while still pursuing his own career ambitions. Scarlett, knowing her worth, refused to conform to his expectations. There were also reports of frequent heated arguments, including one alleged incident on the set of The Proposal. Sources claimed that Ryan struggled with Scarlett's rising professional success.
It was hard not to love the movie because you guys are so beautiful to watch that I was just like...
Well, hello.
I was just like...
Everyone gains 10 points next to her. You go out. No, that's all you get today, though. That's it.
I know. I can't believe you.
That's it. No. Just that. Yeah.
Off camera, not so nice.
No. Never. Never.
Gotta keep her grounded.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. I've seen her go into a rage spiral. Oh my God. And most people's violence with her, it's just baking. Fakes things.
At just 23 and 34 at the time, Blake and Ryan connected with the theme of courage in the movie, their own tested on set.
What are fears that you guys have had to overcome?
Man.
Working with Ryan.
Yeah.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been together for over a decade and share 4 kids. Today, we're taking a look back at how they got their start. They met on set of The Green Lantern back in 2010, where Blake played Ryan's love interest. She was just 23 years old at the time and still starring in Gossip Girl. They were just friends at first. Blake was with Penn Badgley at the time, and Ryan was still married to Scarlett Johansson. A year later, when they were both single, they famously hit it off while on a double date with other people. By October 2011, reports were out that they'd started dating. And by the holidays, People magazine was reporting that they were spotted spending the season together in Vancouver. In September of 2012, they quietly got married at a plantation in Charleston, South Carolina, which is a move that's gotten them a lot of criticism in the years since. And despite being married, Blake and Ryan hadn't actually made their official red carpet debut as a couple. That didn't happen until nearly 2 years into their marriage at the 2014 Met Gala. In October 2014, they announced that they were expecting their first child. They've since had 3 more kids, and it sounds like they could actually be down for even more.
Now, an interesting aspect of Ryan and Scarlett's relationship is how Blake plays a role in it. Let me take you back to 2010, July. Blake and Ryan attend their first event together at Comic-Con to promote the movie Green Lantern. And for some reason, they don't dress in cosplay. As you could tell from this photo, they are super duper adorable, but the catch, Ryan is still married to Scarlett Johansson.
Reynolds met Blake Lively in early 2010 while filming Green Lantern, at a time when he was still married to Scarlett Johansson. Their relationship blossomed, and they began dating in October 2011. The couple married on September 9th, 2012.
If the two of you had married any other people, you definitely would have crushed the other person's soul. Because you are so biting and amazing.
We always tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can. This is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have one on my list. He's like, wait, who? And I was like, sorry, he's guessing.
Blake Lively, known for her witty humor and strong presence in the industry, has been a supportive wife to Reynolds, often engaging in playful public banter with him. However, behind the scenes, some sources speculate that the actress may not have been pleased with Johansson's resurfaced remarks.
I think the beginning of their relationship actually may reveal a lot about who they are today, and it's all speculation, but let's take a look. So 2010, Green Lantern. They met on the set of Green Lantern, which is a DC superhero movie that was widely regarded as a massive flop, both critically and at the box office. I never saw it. I think I may have tried to watch the first few minutes of it years ago, and it was just so bad I had to turn it off. The budget was $200 million to make the movie, and the movie only grossed worldwide. It grossed $219 million. So it barely evened out on production costs. And that even includes costs of marketing expenses and things like that.
During the production of Green Lantern, several onlookers claimed that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively frequently spent time alone, often leaving their trailers to meet at a nearby hotel. Additionally, restaurant employees reported seeing the two sharing intimate dinners that appeared more romantic than just friendly outings. These occurrences led to widespread speculation that Reynolds may have been unfaithful to Scarlett Johansson before their marriage officially ended.
For me, my husband started as a friend. He was a good friend for 2 years that was not romantic in any way. And
okay, the whole Blake Lively discourse has me thinking about Blake Lively remembering things. Like how these two met on the set of the Green Lantern right before Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson ended their relationship. Now, Scarlett has insinuated that the relationship ended because he could not handle her career success. Can I show you some footage from Comic-Con? Listen, they might have only been friends, but she is definitely giving the girl that he tells you not to worry about.
And with the ring, Ryan Reynolds. Felt like this amalgamation between Chuck Yeager and Han Solo. He felt like this classic hero, something that I hadn't seen in a long time.
Blake Lively has claimed that she and Ryan Reynolds maintained a close friendship for 2 years before their relationship became romantic. However, skeptics point out that this so-called friendship coincided with Ryan's marriage to Scarlett Johansson, leading to speculation about possible emotional or physical infidelity. During the filming of...
Meanwhile, over the weekend, SNL did its 50th anniversary tribute, and there was one moment that seemed to stand out. That was a moment where Tina Fey and Amy Poehler called out Ryan Reynolds in the audience, and it was a little awkward.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Joking about how you and your wife essentially tried to leverage by accusing him of sexual harassment is not amazing. It's not an amazing look. I think it's going to do serious career damage to Ryan Reynolds, and by the evidence, it probably should.
No! Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
This was the first public appearance for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds since she filed her civil rights complaint. This is a big legal battle for the two of them. So we saw Ryan poke fun at their own woes. Right now, they're obviously going through it. And I have to tell you that there actually is expected to be a big update in that legal saga this week. Blake Lively's attorneys have said that they are going to be filing an amended complaint against Justin Baldoni, and the judge set a deadline for tomorrow. So that can be coming very, very soon.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are currently facing significant backlash following their appearance on the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special, where they made a controversial joke referencing Lively's ongoing legal.
Colin Jost came back live and clearly made a joke at Blake Lively. Also, Blake Lively's now hired a crisis PR person, the same one who attempted to help cover up Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh my goodness, it's getting crazy.
The couple's participation in the show, especially given Reynolds' past marriage to Scarlett Johansson, whose current husband, Colin Jost, is a prominent SNL figure, has added layers to the public's reaction.